Hi, I'm Alex Kincaid. Welcome to the Gun Law Podcast. Today we're talking about, do you need a federal firearms license? What does it mean to be engaged in a business for profit that requires you to have a license from the federal government saying that you can deal or manufacture in firearms? Well, in January, if you remember, January of 2016, President Obama came out with a whole new host of executive orders. And one of the things that followed was a little pamphlet on the internet. It's put out by the ATF. And it says, do I need a license to buy and sell firearms? This booklet is not exactly helpful. Why? Because this is a really fuzzy gray area of the law. It does give you some warnings in this booklet, but one of the things that you need to keep in mind is that there isn't a magic number of firearms that you can sell every year. That means you suddenly need to have a license. There is no magic wording that you can exactly follow. It's a gray, fuzzy area of the law that says we're going to look at your behavior on a case-by-case basis and determine whether or not you are someone that the Gun Control Act of 1968 says should be licensed under federal law to deal or manufacture in firearms. The ATF itself says determining whether your firearm-related activities require a license is a fact-specific inquiry that involves application of factors set by federal statute. And so they give you a little list of what courts have looked to. Courts have identified several factors to help determine whether or not you're one of those people who should, in fact, have a federal firearms license. And they will look at, do you represent yourself as a dealer? Whether you are repetitively buying and selling firearms, the circumstances under which you are selling firearms, and whether you are looking to make a profit. And then they caution you in this little booklet. They caution you by saying courts have upheld convictions for dealing without a license when as few as 2 firearms were sold, or when only 1 or 2 transactions took place when other factors are also present. So what does it mean to be engaged in the business of dealing in firearms? According to this little pamphlet that the ATF has given us, it says, under federal law, a person engaged in the business of dealing in firearms is a person who, quote, devotes time, attention, and labor to dealing in firearms as a regular course of trade or business with the principal objective of livelihood and profit through the repetitive purchase and resale of firearms. It all depends, and that's a typical lawyer answer, I know. But it depends on your particular facts and circumstances. And in my practice, I have seen investigations of people who have only sold at gun shows. It's not an excuse. It's not the only out anymore that I'm just selling at gun shows. They don't care. If you are engaged in a business for profit, you probably need to have a dealer's license. And if you're just, let me give you a couple of other examples. If you inherit a collection from your grandfather and you sell those items off as part of the estate, you probably don't need a dealer's license. But if you inherit a collection from your grandfather and you go online and you buy and you sell firearms, you buy them online for a great deal and then you resell those as well, now you probably do need a license to deal in firearms. So if you're listening to this and you're going, well, I still don't know because you keep using that word probably, and you said it depends. Well, sometimes the law isn't 100% clear. And in the world of gun owners and gun control laws, and then dealers and licenses, you have to be extra cautious because ignorance is not going to be an excuse. Think about whether or not you intend to make money from what you're doing. If so, that's a big indicator that you had better get a dealer's license, or you had better at least go down and talk to your local ATF branch and see if they think you need a dealer's license. Thank you, as always, for listening to the Gun Law Podcast. It's been my pleasure to bring this information to you, and I hope it was helpful.
This is an important message about your liberty.
So the notion that gun laws don't work, it's not borne out by the evidence.
We need universal background checks. We know that they will work. We need to...
Politicians continue to call for more gun control. Yet so many laws already exist, the American gun owner is often left confused about the legality of their own common everyday behaviors. Attorney and former prosecutor Alex Kincaid knows that too many responsible gun owners violate laws that they don't know even exist. And her goal is to stop that. Now get Kincaid's new book, Infringed. Larry Pratt of Gun Owners of America says that Infringed should be on the shelf of every American gun owner. Infringed debuts November 25th, but pre-order today and receive an autographed hard copy edition at $5 off. Visit alexkincaidlaw.com now. That's alexkincaidlaw.com. Get Infringed. Get it today. alexkincaidlaw.com.